Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ákos. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Good afternoon, Julian. Good to be here.
Before we start with a video which we're going to show, which is going to give us a little taste of Paprika.
Let's look at it.
In 2023,
Itt vannak mind, igen. Értettem.
we were truly everywhere.
Money was all I had. I can't just walk away.
You had a holiday romance with a bad man.
Nem kell megijedni, ennyit akartam csak.
From the high seas to distant lands, we kept on creating. Engaging content and telling great stories.
Probably, if we consider the past 5 years, the pitches were the strongest this year.
This is Paprika. We are Paprika.
Pont mint a helyszínelőkben. Annyit a vizó?
Szívem, már egy pici!
This year, the sky is the limit.
Mi nem csinálunk trágya melót.
I could very easily spend our time together just talking about what we saw in the showreel.
All right, let's start
Farmer
with
Wants
that.
a Wife on 7 seasons.
Yeah, there is many more actually. We just on Slovenia, that's where we are. But yeah, what we've seen is basically hard work of around 950 people across the region in 8 countries, highlighted in just 2 minutes.
That's some good work there. Tell me, you've been around, I think, as a company for 20 years. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, it's a long journey. I don't know how much time we have.
Probably about 2 or 3 minutes on this bit.
Okay. So yeah, we around a couple decades on the market. We started from Romania and Hungary. Right now we are in 8 countries. That's from Lithuania, Poland, coming down to Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Slovenia. Small office in Bulgaria. Well, trying to create good content across the region, which is full of cultural diversity and challenges coming from this.
What was the first show that you made as a company?
Actually, my part of the company started in 2013 when the company joined the Modern Times Group, now called Viaplay. But the first show which the company did was Fish on the Cake, and that was a big hit in Romania and Hungary, and then traveled across the region. We produced, I think, in 6 languages, about 2,000 episodes over the years.
And the Viaplay connection, you mentioned via Modern Times Group there, and we all know that the troubles that Viaplay have been through. You're no longer a part of them, and there was a point, I guess, when you realized what was happening and you spoke to some colleagues and said, yeah, we should own this. Tell me about that moment.
Okay, yeah. So we've been part of the group for about 11 years. And it's been a great journey. It was good to be part of a bigger family. At certain times we had many sister companies, mostly in Scandinavia and across the Benelux. and sometimes we were more ourselves. But all along, it was good to have a great umbrella, give the safety net in this always changing market. But as when you grow up and move out from your parents, this is what happened to us. I think that we pretty much
you feel
grew
the
out
safety
of it,
net
and
was very much sort of pulled out.
We were ready to be on our own and continue, and that actually fit the strategy of Viaplay as well. So we agreed.
Well, they needed more funds, so they wanted to,
They want to focus on the
on.
Nordic markets. We want to focus on Central Eastern Europe. We still have many cooperations still running together. So
you'd expect shows produced by Paprika perhaps to find their way onto Viaplay channels still, their streaming services?
Yeah, absolutely. There are shows that we produced for Viaplay still to be premiered. There are also collaboration in CE. We are the distribution arm for Viaplay, so that also links us together for the times to come.
And other than changing of the notepaper, perhaps, when you send out a letter, slightly different wording on there. What else changes as a company? Do you feel that your direction is going to be any different? Obviously, Central and East Europe is the core, but are there things that you'll start to do now that you haven't done in the past?
Well, I have to say, when the moment came that we could announce the changes with the company, the amount of welcoming and warmth we got from the colleagues and professionals of the market was amazing, and we felt that many doors opened up for us that will evolve or create new collaborations and partnerships. But of course, I think the example, or to relate to it, it's really like you move out from home, you stand on your own feet. Of course, you need to also do your own laundry, but you have the freedom of doing with whoever you want, whatever you want.
Okay. As we saw in the video there, you're producing for a number of countries, large and small. Is it? I guess it's easier to produce for a larger country than for a smaller country, or is it?
Well, I don't know if it's with the size, but it's definitely
Is
in
the
every
budget
single.
related? Is it?
Well, the budget is surely more forgiving when it's a bigger country, and it's more challenging when it's a smaller. But I think it's all about relevant local storytelling, and that's when it comes to the business we are. We need the great talents, and then we can then anything is possible.
Yeah, because you're not, we highlighted Farmer Wants a Wife, and I noticed Traitors in there as well, but you're also doing scripted shows.
We actually started to do TV shows, as I mentioned, realities and entertainment shows, mostly. In 2015, we changed or adjusted our strategy as we've seen scripted content becoming more and more in demand in the CE, to invest and develop original stories and to focus on the market to find the ones that's worth to be told in the CE.
And what's led to that? Is it the rise of the streamers, or is it something that's shifted in viewer trends here?
I think it's all of them together, many aspects. The viewers were probably ready for more scripted content, but more to that, the broadcasters were already planning the AVOD or SVOD platforms where the longevity is very important of the content. So then the scripted is a necessity.
It's interesting when you look at what the streamers, particularly the international US-based streamers, have to offer. On the one hand, they do really well out of acquiring long-running US shows. Suits, I guess, is possibly a good example. Yet on the other hand, they have this thing, the limited series, as they call it, which sort of seems new. Some European public broadcasters have always done shorter seasons, but you're looking at 1-hour episodes, maybe only 8 episodes in a series, and then that's it. There's not even a returning series. How do you sort of interpret what's happening there?
Well, I can only look at it from the content producer side, and that for us means that you need to feel your commissioner's need as well as pick the right stories. I think relevance is the key here, and whenever you find a relevant story, then you need to fit it in the right format. Let it be 6, 4, 12, or 16 episodes, whichever it is.
But this idea of not necessarily return off, we all can name series which have returned perhaps far too often. You know, the lead actor has left, and it's deemed to be a hit, so it continues. But of course, it isn't, because the lead actor's left. But there must be creatively, when you're thinking to yourself, well, in a second series, you know, these characters could do this, and I wonder there's a certain element of creativity being stifled by the limited series format.
I think limited series have definitely a place, because very big need there is for stories that based on some true elements. And sometimes those are stories where you don't have the possibility to continue. Most of them are like that. And I think it's a great thing for local content, especially for this region where, as we mentioned, the budget have quite lower cap compared to the big countries. Then this could be great highlights of broadcaster or any platform.
What about feature films? Is there the market, or feature length episodes, I think the term used to be. Is that an area for you as well?
We done feature films, and we planning to do. I think
for cinema release or for television distribution?
I think after the COVID times, it's now starting to get back into the routines that you can count with box office. Certain countries more, others still less. I do think that feature film has a great way ahead going forward.
The other element of content that we could pluck out of that show reel that we began with was the shorts. That's very much a modern content phenomena. I guess. I do sort of remember going to the cinema and seeing a 10-minute short film before the main feature, but generally speaking, the shorts is something which is new, something which often appeals to not necessarily a younger audience.
Yeah, short form for us in the last few years becoming more and more important. We're putting more and more effort on creating and learning how to do proper short form content, where the challenge is the biggest, because user-generated content is your biggest competition there, which is endless. And I do think that while the formats are becoming wider, the genres are opening up, they're getting closer to each other. The same goes for long form and short form. And as much as everybody is looking for the solution how to capture the audience, the younger audience, then, well, you need to look at the focus and the time spent, not with all the content, but with each content. And the focus is very little. You need to adapt that.
I'm intrigued. You see user-generated content almost as a rival in this genre.
We can see user-generated content is becoming more and more professional. The devices, the technology is there to create good-looking things. So I think it is a competition, because end of the day, we are all there for the eyeballs. So we all competing for that 4 or 5 hours they spent on the digital screen a day. How much will be with our content?
Would you hire somebody if they did some really good user-generated content using the tools available to them? Would you make a call or get somebody to invite them in for a chat?
we always open, but at the same time, I do think there is a clear difference between professionally done content and the user-generated. The gap is closing.
Okay. We've got one more video to show, so if we could take a look at that, and then we'll have a final chat about it all.
Maybe before we do that...
If you like.
Yeah, I may say a few words around it, because as we began, I mentioned the cultural diversity in the region, and I brought an example for that, how to showcase that there are stories that are worth to be told, and it's relevant to everybody, but to make it successful, you need to be able to localize it the right way. And we had a show, it's called The Teacher, which is discussing family-related or society-related issues, raising a child, in a very entertaining way. It became a great hit in Hungary, and based on that, it raised the attention of the region, and we created a local remake in Slovakia, in Czech, and in Slovenia as well, which all went for season after season. And I think the key for the success was that it's very local, while the story itself is universal.
Okay, let's take a look at the video now.
Kapsz néhány új diákot? Csak olyan problémásokat. Ezek mind azok. Még azért is rohanunk kell. Co tu dělá? To profesor jde ta jáčka po jespadogramu. Jo.
Aby se mala navštěvovat jednodenně.
Odkedy ty takto dodržiavaš predpisy?
Cože? Ty jsi mu vykradl kanco.
Ne, nevykradl.
Beszélek vele, nyugi. Én osztályom. Zabudnod el. Meg akarod előzni az ilyen helyzeteket.
Igen, meg akarom előzni az ilyen helyzeteket. Ti si pa debil.
Ja, v redu, ja, tu sem jaz, tu si pa ti.
My wife's a teacher. I'm sure it's nothing like that. How did you change the character just ever so slightly according to the country in which the show is being set?
That's where you need a great collaboration between the different professionals of the different countries. We have producers in Czech, in Slovakia, also in Hungary, and it's been a learning curve for us, but you need to understand how to guide people with different cultural background on the right way to create the content that is appealing for the local audience, while it also discusses the subject in the right way.
And it's one of the countries, I forget which one, I was already running for 5 seasons.
Yeah, and hopefully still more to come.
Good. Well, I hope so too. I've enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed the videos as well. I have to mention the first video that we saw, because, as you know, it's compulsory to make a mention of AI in every session these days. And there's an AI connection with that first video.
Well, I think AI is becoming a great tool to be used. All of us are trying to figure out what's the right way to implement it in a professional environment. I think we talk about it more than how much we use it, but actually in that first video, the voice that we all heard maybe sound familiar, but it was all AI generated.
Oh dear. I think his agent will be on the phone. I'm slightly worried that in future conferences, us moderators will be replaced by AI as well. It's possibly a relatively easy thing to do. But Ákos, thank you very much indeed for your time here this afternoon. Thank you.
And thank you for everybody listening.